So welcome to today's practice. There are some props that you will need. One, if you can, is a cushion or a pillow. Not everybody has a yoga bolster. So I'm very lucky. It's a big fat pillow. So that might be something you can use with big sofa cushions, or perhaps you get a couple of bed pillows and wrap a towel really tightly around it. Today's practice is specifically for yoga for carers. So there are specific needs when we care for others, and I like to think that we can address that in today's practice. So if you have got your props, gather them now or press record to go and get them. Always useful as well to have bricks. Again, they might not be things that you have, so you might use books. If you don't have any props, it really doesn't matter. But let us begin today's practice just for carers as we lie on our back. And you might lie on your back with your knees bent, or you might extend the legs long. If you've got any back issues, it can be really good to keep the knees bent initially, and ever so slightly lengthen the back of the neck. So tuck your chin, and then very lovingly place the back of your skull down onto the earth. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky like you're holding a book or a brick or a box in front of you. And then very slowly, slightly bend the elbows out to the side until you can feel your shoulder blades rest on the earth. And then from there, you might take your arms out to the side with the palms up. Or it might be nice to rest them on your tummy, but don't let the fingers touch. So when we care for others, it sounds really glib, but as the Dalai Lama said, we cannot care for others if we don't care for ourselves first. So let this next hour be time for you to fill your cup. So as you close your eyes, let the shoulders settle and take a full deep breath into your stomach. Perhaps you feel the belly rising as you inhale. Soften and settle as you exhale. So when we care for others, there's a lot of pulls on us, a lot of demands. When we focus on the breath, we're back into this moment now, the only moment we truly have. So use this awareness of your breath to bring yourself back to center and just focus on the next 5 breaths. Maybe your mind is busy, just acknowledge that it's busy, but then come back to your breath. We don't have to get tangled up in our thoughts. Two more breaths. And perhaps set the intention for yourself that for this next hour, you'll just be here on this mat like a desert island, nowhere else to be, nowhere else to go. And then start to bring your knees in towards your chest. As the knees come in towards your chest, take your toes together, but press the knees apart. So you get a stretch there on your inner thighs. And very slowly start to rock side to side. And now take that left foot down with the knee bent as you extend the right leg towards the sky and start to circle your ankle, a few one way, a few the other, just really deliciously slow. We don't have to rush for this next hour. And now flex your foot so it's just below your left knee. So you made a little triangle there, and you might keep your left foot down, or you might just start to lift off the ground as you draw that left thigh in towards you. Press your right knee away now as you start to stretch this right hip. And just from there, move a centimetre to the left and a centimetre to the right. Notice where tension is stored. Where does it feel tighter? And there's no good or bad answer. We're just being in the body instead of the busy, busy mind. So next time you find that tension spot, linger there and breathe. And now come back to center and bring both of your knees to the right. And you might stay like this. So the right knee comes down, the right foot rests on the left thigh, And then press your left knee towards the ground as you extend your arms over your head. Turn to look over your left shoulder and breathe all the way into the left side of the body. So if this doesn't feel good for your back, then just undo that top leg and bring your knees together. 2 deep breaths into your left lung. And as you breathe out, let go of any tension. See if you can just soften the muscles. You don't have to grip or harden. And come back to center. Just release that right leg, both feet down again, both knees bent. Take a breath into the tummy. As you breathe out, sigh the breath away. And as you breathe in, now the left leg rises, circling the left ankle one way, then the other. Flex the left foot just below the right knee. This is enough. Or maybe you draw the right thigh in. And then purely as a device to get out of our busy mind, let's move one little way to the left and a little way to the right. Just identifying where you hold your tension in the body. And when we care for others, it's a lot of responsibility. We do often get tense. So just honor that and just ease into it. See if you can let some of it go today. And then let's move over to the left this time. So this is a kind of weird twist. The left foot rests on the right thigh. Press the right knee to the ground. Extend your arms overhead and then just look over your right shoulder. Again, notice where you feel sensation because that means you're not thinking. And take 3 breaths into the right side. And slowly come up and undo the legs. So a lot of caring involves folding forwards. So we want to bring the opposite quality in our body now. Take your hands firmly to the ground and press the hands down. As you breathe in, slowly lift up your hips, your lower back, mid back, upper back. As you breathe out, gently come back down again, upper back, mid back, lower back. Nothing too high, just easing into your body. As you do this again, you might add your arms. As you breathe in, the hips rise, fingers come all the way up and overhead. As you breathe out, you mindfully come back down again. And we're trying to move with the breath, not trying to fit the breath in. So let the breath lead the speed. And next time we lift up, let's stay up. So reaching really high into your fingers. This is lengthening the side body as you lift up your hips. And just take a huge breath. Stay up a little longer if you can. Of course, you come down if this doesn't feel good. And slowly unravel the spine. And as the arms come overhead, now you draw those knees in towards your chest. And again, little rocks from side to side. So lifting the legs up now, we're going to roll up to a seat. And you might take a little while to get there because it's quite good fun. So lifting up, tapping the toes, back onto shoulders, up onto toes. And then let's come into a comfortable seated position. So if you don't kneel very much, maybe sometimes it's good to bring that in. So this is where the cushion comes in. You might take a cushion between the calves and knees so that you can lengthen your spine. If that's really uncomfortable, sit in a different way. So from here, as you inhale, let's raise the thumbs up towards the sky. Look towards your hands. Exhale, hands to heart. Just moving with breath again. Inhale, open your wings. Exhale, hands to heart. Final time, inhale, open those wings. Exhale, hands to heart. And then open your arms wide, almost like a cactus, or stick them up. And as you exhale, elbows and wrists together, tuck the chin. Inhale, open those arms wide. With breath, exhale, come back together. This time, come really open wide. And we're going to take our right arm and so you might here give yourself a little hug with the left arm on top, or you might take the backs of your palms together, or the palms together. So we're stretching the shoulders, and note the word should is in shoulders. So all the responsibility of the world allegedly is in our shoulders. If you breathe in, lift up those elbows, take a huge breath into any tightness. As you breathe out, elbows to tummy, tuck the chin. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, come back down again. Inhale, rise up. And now unravel your arms, and if you take the right hand next to you, bring the left arm up and over your ear. And deeply, deeply breathe into the left waist. One more breath. So now take this left hand to your right ear, lift up and press your left ear towards the left shoulder. So we're stretching the right side of the neck. So often we get tension headaches. This can be, again, helped by stretching the neck sometimes. So press very lightly on your right ear and then press the right ear back into the hand. So feel that sensation. Is it enough? Or do we need to bring the right hand around your waist, resting just above the left hip? And just feel the stretch there in the neck. This is a good way to prevent headaches. Take one more deep breath. And release the fingers, release the left hand. And just take a moment resting both hands on your thighs as you lift up. Maybe you feel that flow of energy all the way down the right side of the neck. So stay at this nice, relaxed, steady pace. Inhale, arms rise up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to center. So just very slow movements. Breathing in, we rise. When we slow down, our mind slows down. And when we're caring for others, we have so much busy, 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 busy. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's open those arms wide again, like a cactus. Inhale, open that heart. Exhale, elbows together, wrists together. We round a little bit. Inhale, we open. And we round again. Final time. Inhale, we open. And this time we're taking the other arm on top. Oh, that's because I can't remember. I think it's the left. So again, give yourself a hug with left arm on top. Maybe backs up palms, maybe palms. Breathing in, lift up. Exhale, fold a little. Think I'm right. Breathing in, lift up. Twist to waist. Final time, inhale, we lift up. This time we're going to unravel the arms, left hand to the side, right arm up and over your ear. So when we stretch our side body, we're breathing into our intercostal muscles. They get tight when we're anxious, and then we can't breathe so well. So breathe into that right lung, opening up these little muscles that help us breathe well. And we come back up again. Oh, sorry, we don't. We stretch the neck. Right hand to left ear. Ease that side down. I'm doing really well today. Breathing into the left side of the neck. And there's a little bit of a pushing back. So lightly push that left ear into the hand to crank up this a little bit. And then maybe you take the left arm around you. So feeling into that left side of the neck. And just direct your awareness and your breath there. And this is how we melt the tension that we store in our bodies. Right hand comes to right ear now. Press your head up. Rest both hands onto thighs. Feel the energy moving down the left side of the neck. So let's come on to all fours now. And so much of the caring that we do is through the hands. In Ayurvedic medicine, our hands express our heart in the world. So as you take the hands under your shoulders, spread the fingers so wide, and then move your hands, if you can, to the side. Fingers kind of have gone 90 degrees each way. Maybe start to sway a little bit. And if it's not painful, move the hands all the way around towards your knees. Spread your fingers wide, root down into your fingertips, and just slowly move the weight forward and back. So when we use a lot of technology, our wrists work one way but not the other. So these are so important. I used to teach people that never felt this, and that's because they didn't have phones. But that's not true of anybody today. So just, we're not hurting ourselves. Go gentle, these carpal bones. Shake out your hands now. Bring all that energy back. Spread the hands into a more natural way. And let's do some cat and cow. As you inhale, long spine, heart rises. Exhale, round into your upper back and tuck the chin. Do that 3 more times. Remember, the breath is dictating the speed, and we want the breath to be as slow as possible. So we're going to ease into our spine now. Extend that right leg behind you. The toes are down. Press into the center of the right heel and lengthen your spine forward. And then lift up your toes, shift forward. Press the heel back as you shift back. Just do a couple of those. And now as the right heel comes back, press into your left hand and turn, press into your right hand and we're twisting. We're lifting the left arm up towards the sky, breathing into the lower back. And then as the left hand comes down, we're turning our foot long ways onto the mat and we're lifting the right arm up. Deep breath in. And we're going to alternate between these two shapes. Exhale, right hand comes down, right heel lifts. Inhale, left arm lifts. So if you can notice the different parts of the spine. Left hand down, right foot drops, right arm lifts. Right hand comes down, right heel lifts, left arm lifts. This time we're staying as we come back. As the left hand comes down, we drop the right foot and we lift up the right arm. Reach into your right fingertips, huge breath. And then really slowly circle the arm around the body. We're just easily moving in the body. Nothing to do, nothing to achieve. And next time that right arm lifts, you might lift up your right leg as well. That's going to build a bit of strength. Really press into the center of the heel. Breathe. And drop down. So again, a lot for the shoulders today. Dropping onto the knees. Take your toes together. Sit back on your heels and drop your forehead towards the ground. So this is called child's pose. A really good pose for overwhelm. As you come into child's pose, breathe all the way up to the surface of the back. And as you breathe out, relax and release all tension in the jaw. And visualize that any tension you're holding is rising to the surface of the skin. And as you breathe out, you give that tension back to Mother Earth. Trust that she can transform it for you. Do that 3 more times. So remember, this practice is to fill your cup. It might be that you stay here. Otherwise, you might come up and work a bit harder. So choose to stay in child's pose or come up to downward dog. In downward facing dog, lengthen your spine as you lift up your sit bones. Maybe there's a soft bend in the knees. And move with breath again. Breathing in, you come forward. Breathing out, you come back to downward facing dog. 2 more of those. If you're in child's pose, know that that's a really smart choice. We're not good at stopping, and that can be much more of a challenge. Pause in your next downward dog if you're there. Take a deep breath in and drop the knees down. So stretching the left calf muscle now. So extend the left leg behind you, press into center of left heel. Inhale, lengthen spine forward. Exhale, press it back. 2 more of those. So again, we're going to alternate between those shapes. Breathing in, right arm rises. We're twisting in the upper back. Exhale, right hand comes down. Left foot comes down. Breathing in. Just unraveling the spine. Just move between those 2 shapes. And if you're confused or you've got it wrong, remember it's only yoga. Just make something up. And this time, as the right hand comes down, we drop the left foot and we lift the left arm and we stay here in this stretch. Perhaps circling the arm a little bit, just easing into shoulders. And then lift up the left leg if you did so on side 1. So this will strengthen the hip as opposed to stretch. We need both, so just choose what's best. Take a breath. And let's bring it down. So remember child's pose, it is always there. Or once again, you come to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, lift your thighs. Press your heart towards your thighs, lift your sit bones. Breathe in as you come forward to the top of the push-up. This time, drop your knees and roll down onto the earth. Pubic bone, chest. And as you get to the ground, for the first back bend, take your fingers off your mat and tent your fingers. So the hands are like almost like little cupcakes. Press down into the toenails as you breathe in and lift up your heart. Exhale, come all the way back again. 2 more of those. These are called rolling cobras. Remember, the breath is what dictates the speed. And come all the way back. Now move the hands closer to you And as you lift up the knees, again, you come back to child's pose or downward facing dog. Lift the thighs, the hips, the waistline towards the back of your mat. Take a deep breath in and breathe away everything else. Slowly now, let's make our way towards the front of the mat. So you want to stay really slow and steady today. Breathing in, lift your heart, come up halfway. Exhale, come to a fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale to fold. And it's this repetition that soothes the nervous system. Do 2 more. This time, as you come up halfway, take your hands to your hips, press into your heels, and as you breathe in, come all the way up to stand. And just take a moment to take one hand to your heart, one hand to your tummy, closing your eyes. Remind yourself this is about caring for you, nobody else. Feel your feet on the earth and breathe into your whole body. And we'll begin with a couple of Surya Namaskara, sun salutations, honoring that the sun rose today, as did we. So breathe in, we rise up, reach your fingers towards the sky. As you exhale, fold all the way down to the earth. Breathing in, take a flat back. As your fingers come down, step back with the left leg and drop your left knee. 1 breath per movement. Breathing in, rise up, fingers reach to the sky. Exhale, hands come down. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathing in, come forward to a plank pose, or you stay in downward facing dog. Lower to the earth. Breathing in, lift your heart. Exhale back, downward facing dog. So these are always done at the beginning of the practice. They warm us up. Breathing in, left leg rises. Breathing out, left foot steps between the hands. Drop your right knee. Breathing in, arms lift up. Greet the sun, greet this day. Exhale, hands come down. Right foot steps in to meet the left foot. Breathing in, long spine. Breathing out, we fold. Breathing in, circle the arms out this time. Gaze towards the sun. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's take a moment to find the breath again. And there's no getting these poses wrong or right. They're just filling you up. Breathing in, let's do side 2. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, long spine. Step back, right leg. Drop right knee. Breathing in, rise up, fingers to sky. Exhale, hands come down. Downward dog. Your breath might be different to mine. Work with yours. Stay in down dog or come through the flow. Breathing in forwards. Lower to the earth. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Breathing away all other moments other than this one. Breathing in, right leg rises. Breathing out, right foot between the hands. Drop left knee. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, hands to ground. Nice steady pace. Step the back foot in to meet the front foot. And just pause the moment here now in this forward fold, feeling your feet on the earth. So this time we're going to add more twists. Fingers to floor or a brick. Bend your left knee as you breathe in, right arm lifts. Breathe out, right hand comes down. Bend right knee, inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, left hand comes down. 1 more on each side. Just like you're unfurling your wings, because remember, you are a divine creature. And come down to your fold. Slowly bend the knees as you unravel and come to stand. Maybe arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment now. I always like this part of my practice. I feel taller than when I began. And obviously, I'm only about 1 inch if you're watching me on a phone. I'm actually 9 foot tall. Inhale, raise those arms. Exhale, let's come to a fold. Inhale, long spine. And let's step back to a downward facing dog. Again, know that you can always drop your knees. You can always rest. Breathing in, right leg rises. Breathe out,
Right foot comes between the hands. Look towards your left heel now and drop it down. So this is a pose called Warrior One. Press into your right foot and lift your arms up towards the sky. So this is the raising of the warrior sword. Look towards your thumbs, bend into your right knee. See if you can lean back a little bit. Feel the stretch maybe all the way down the left calf muscle. And now focus on the breath rising from belly to upper chest to upper back. And as you breathe out, soften shoulders, sink down a little bit. One more time. And now interlace the palms behind you. Roll the shoulders back as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, tuck your chin. This might be enough. Or you might bring the crown of the head towards the right instep. Now really press into both feet as you breathe into the back. Every time the breath is steady, so are you. Breathing in, we rise back up to Warrior Two. Look towards those thumbs. And now open your arms out wide as we come into a Warrior Two. So different hip placement now. The hips are facing the long end of the mat instead of forward. Unravel your arms out. As you inhale, straighten your right leg, hands to heart, ceiling. Exhale, ground them back down again. 2 more times. And now as you pause in your Warrior Two, remember the strength you have. You've got to be strong to care for others. Just look forward and breathe into your whole body. Feel the power of your legs, your open lungs, your open heart, and breathe into your power and potential. Now with this left arm, wrap it around you, another shoulder stretch. So the left fingers come to the right waist, and then we're leaning our upper body back. So breathe all the way down to the right waist. And 2 more deep breaths, just filling yourself up again with this fresh energy, this fresh breath. We rise back up. We circle those arms down, and maybe we rest in child's pose. Maybe we stay in down dog. Maybe we come through what we call a vinyasa to plank. We lower, we rise up, and we come back. Downward facing dog. So I keep spinning round to face the camera. You stay where you are. So breathing in, let's lift that left leg. As you exhale, left foot comes between the hands, right heel drops down. Press into your feet and rise up. Warrior One. And gaze towards those thumbs as you drop the shoulders and feel the energy rising from the lower left back to the upper back to the chest. Keep softening the shoulders. Notice if you're tensing. 2 more breaths. This is about aiming. What are we aiming for as we look up? Circle those arms around you. Maybe you interlace the fingers a different way, but sometimes that's just too baffling. So breathe in, lift the heart, and fold. Tuck the chin, or bring the head towards the foot. Press into that right heel as you direct the breath into the back of your body. And this is called Humble Warrior. We bow to our heart. Can you bow to your heart today? What is it that you need to really nurture you? And we're good at that for others, not always for ourselves. And as we rise up, let's take those arms all the way up again and then open your body up. Warrior Two. There might be a slight adjustment of the feet. Inhale, straighten, fingers touch. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we rise. And then we ground. Final time. Pause and feel that breath get longer and stronger and more spacious as you stand in stillness now. 3 breaths. And once again, wrap the right arm around you as long as that's good for your shoulders. Lift your left palm up and lean your body back. 3 deep breaths into the left side of your body. And John Kabat-Zinn said, as long as you're breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you. Remember, it's just the breath we're focusing on, replenishing your energy reserves. Warrior Two, very briefly. Let's come through a vinyasa. Coming all the way back to down dog. This is going to be our final round of standing poses now to follow. If you need to rest, you rest. Come back to downward facing dog. Take a huge breath in. As you breathe out, lift up the heels, look forward, step or hop towards the front of the mat. Breathe in, long spine halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, open your arms all the way up to stand. Hands to heart. Pause again, take a breath. So we're going to come into chair pose now. Sadly, this is not a chair we watch Netflix in. Press your fingers together, sink back. Little back bend here. Press the hands together, lift the heart. That might be enough. It is for me. You might lift your arms up. Strengthening those legs, your roots. Take a huge breath in. Promise it won't last forever. One more deep breath. And let's come to a fold. Inhale, long spine. Step back, downward facing dog. So last couple of sides here. Press into your hands, feel your feet. Breathing in, right leg rises. Breathing out, right foot comes between the hands. Drop your left heel again, warrior one. Inhale, arms lift up. This time, take your elbows really wide and bring your left elbow on top. Same as we did earlier, you might hug here or you might give yourself a little bind. So palms together, backs of palms together. Breathing in, lift your heart, lift your forearms. Breathing out, humble warrior, fold towards the right toe. Breathing in, lift back up again. Again, we're moving our energy out. Exhale, forwards. Final time, breathing in, we lift. And we fold. But this time, as we fold, take your hands either side of your right foot and see if you can straighten the right leg. It might be that your shoulders are tense now, so drop them. And as you breathe in, lift up your right hand. As you exhale, tap your right hand to your left knee, thigh, ankle. Breathing in, lift up that right leg arm. Exhale, tap it underneath. Final time, breathing in. So we're in a bit of a weirdy twist here. And then pause as you take your right hand to the ground. And again, straighten the right leg. Feel into the sensation there. Take a breath. And then bend your right knee as you rise up. And open once more into warrior two. Take a moment to land. Slightly different time. This time as you inhale, straighten your leg. Hands to heart. Exhale, arms come back out again. Inhale, gathering up all that energy into the heart. Exhale, arms come out again. Breathing in, gather it in. And we pause. So we're going to come into a balance now. If you're brand new, this is tricky. So just acknowledge that it's tricky. Left hand to hip. Look forward and take your right fingers to the brick. Lift up your left leg and then turn to the side. And as you turn to the side, you might lift up your left arm and breathe. Now this is a different transition. Look down to your right hand and take your left foot next to your right foot. And we come back into chair pose. Take a moment there to breathe. And come back into a fold. Breathing in, lift up your heart halfway. Let's step back to downward facing dog. Pause in your downward facing dog. Sorry, you can pause in downward dog or you can come through a vinyasa. So you might want to come forward. This will be our last one. And come back. And as you come into downward facing dog, take a moment to really fully, deeply breathe. As you sigh away everything else. Inhale, left leg rises. Breathe out. Left foot comes forward. Right heel drops. Breathing in, rise up to warrior one. This time we open those arms wide like a cactus and we take the right arm on top of the left. Breathing in, lift your forearms. Exhale, come to a fold. Breathing in, we rise. Exhale, we come to a fold. Final time, breathe in, we rise up. And as we fold this time, take those hands either side of the left foot. And it might be that you realize now you need bricks again, but they will make your arms longer. Breathe in, left arm lift. Exhale, left hand taps, thigh, knee, somewhere on the right leg. Breathing in, open your wing. Exhale, tap the hand. So ideally we're keeping the left leg straight, but if you need to bend it, that's okay. And now let's pause as we fold over that left leg. Soften the face, soften the shoulders, deeply, deeply breathe. Sigh away everything else and super slowly press into the feet. Feel the power of your legs now as you come back into warrior two. So the hands are there. We're not going to be here for very long at all. Bring those arms out wide. Inhale, straight leg, hands together. Exhale, send that energy back out. Inhale, gathering to the heart. Exhale, giving that back out to the world. Final time. And balances are great. It doesn't matter that we fall. They're good for our bones and they stop us thinking. So right hand hip. Who cares if we fall over? Let's lift up the right leg. Obviously, if you've got a Ming vase behind you, move it out of the way. You might care about that. Otherwise, let's look up. Let's lift up the right arm. Let's spread the toes. 3 deep breaths as we take up space. Look down to the ground. We're coming back into chair pose. Weird transition. This time, as we come into chair pose, take the hands to prayer and slowly come down. Lift up your heels. You might balance a moment there. You might fall over, no one can see you. And now let's come down to the ground. And everything we do now is restful. So we're going to come into poses for a lot longer. And we're going to come into what we call a supported bridge. So I'm going to use my bolster because I have one. You might use a pile of books. What we're looking for is something underneath your sacrum, the sacred bone at the bottom of the spine. And how I kind of measure my way into this is taking my toes to the front of the yoga mat. The bolster is just behind you, or cushions, or whatever you have. Then you lift up and you come onto your back. So we want the shoulder blades there. You might have a cushion for your head. Now, some people can keep their legs long. For me, that's too much for my back, so I like to keep my knees bent. And we're going to be here for 3 minutes, so do have a fiddle around and a fidget to make sure you're really comfortable. I'm just going to get a little timer so that I know when the 3 minutes are up. I'm sorry, I should have had that ready before. So as you settle into this shape, so often the mind starts to spin and remind you of all the things that you think you need to do. So acknowledge your busy mind, but then don't listen to it. So this is called a supported bridge, a very good pose to do before bedtime. Also very good to do at times of high stress because it supports your adrenals, the little things that live above the kidneys that pump out adrenaline. So when you're stressed, it can get overwhelming. This is a great pose to take. And if you do it before bedtime, there is a suggested breath practice by my teacher, Max Strong, called 5-7-8 breath. So breathe in for a count of 5. Pause the breath for a count of 7. Breathe out for a count of 8. So you count, not me, because someone else counting can contribute to anxiety. You're in control. Breathing for a count of 5. Retain the breath for a count of 7. Breathe out for a count of 8. And if you wake up in the night, as often we do, it's often not waking up that there's a problem. It's thinking and worrying about waking up. So taking this breath practice can be really beneficial to get you back to sleep. 5-7-8 breath. So I'm going to leave you now for about 1.5 minutes to practice that breath. And know that thoughts are not the enemy. We're not trying to stop ourselves thinking. We're just trying not to get tangled up in that thinking. Just keep coming back to this next breath.
So very shortly, you will hear a bell. When you hear a bell, take 3 more deep breaths. Each breath gets a little deeper, finishing with a sigh. In the Buddhist tradition, hearing a bell is a call back to present moment because there's this recognition that we're probably not there. And 3 deep breaths. So staying on your bolster now, or a brick, we're going to stretch a muscle called the psoas that gets very tight when we're tense, when we fight or flight. So start to lift the right leg up. Left leg is still bent. Draw that right knee in towards you. You can hold onto the shin or hold onto the thigh. Then start to slide your left leg long. Let the left heel be on the ground and let your left thigh drop. And as high as you can, lift that right knee towards your armpits. So when we involve the hands, we involve the shoulders. Make sure you've not tensed yours now. And just feel that stretch down the left thigh, maybe around the right hip. So this muscle gets very tense when we're in fight or flight, when we're in a state of stress. And it's said to run right up to this nerve, right through up to the reptilian brain. So we're just easing into it. It also runs through our digestive organs. That's often why our digestion goes a bit iffy when we're tense. 2 more breaths. And then bend the left knee, take the foot flat, bring the right foot down. And just take a moment. Notice if you feel like you've got more space now around the right thigh and hip flexor. Now let's do the other side. Extend, lift that left leg up towards you, extend the right leg away from you, press your right heel down. It's really important that you anchor yourself and you just explore how high you can lift the left knee. Keep pressing into the center of the right heel and now smooth out your breath. And let's release it. Take a moment there, both feet are on the ground. Now we want to be careful coming off the bolster if you're on one because of your back. So just start to roll the bolster towards your feet and slowly settle down. And then we're going to take a pose called butterfly. So feet together, knees wide. So my perfect spot for this pose is my feet on the bolster. You might want a bigger stretch and not use a bolster at all, or you might bring your feet over the bolster. And that's nice if you've got tight hips. It just gently eases them open. So rest your hands on your tummy, close your eyes, and feel the breath beneath your hands. And there's a quote from Maya Angelou: we all delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but we never think about the changes it had to make to get there, the transitions. So settling here, contemplating perhaps any changes in your life, trusting that they're taking you to somewhere beautiful. So we're looking for a samavritti now, an even breath. Counting the breath gives the brain something to do. So you might be counting in for 4 or 5, or breathe out for 4 or 5. Or simply repeat a phrase like the Buddha's first teaching: I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And noticing thoughts, but coming back to the breath. And a successful meditation practice is how often you come back, not how often you judge yourself for drifting off. It's just a recognition and a remembrance that you've gone somewhere else.
2 more deep breaths, really full deep breath. And then bring those knees in towards your chest. Just ease out your lower back. So just some twists now. Keep them really simple because the simpler they are, the more relaxed we are. We're going to bring our bolster, cushions, whatever we have, to our left hip. And then just to make sure your back is safe, move your hips about an inch to the right. Lift your knees up and then bring them over to the bolster. We're going to do a little bit more for our shoulders now. Open those arms out really wide into a big T shape. As you inhale, lift your right arm towards the sky. Take your right hand to the left wrist. As you inhale, take your right thumb behind your head and draw a big half circle on the floor, like you're painting a rainbow. And as the right arm unravels and comes out to the right, breathe in again as you lift it towards the sky like a clamshell. Exhale, right hand to left wrist. Inhale, draw that rainbow around you. Pause as the right hand goes away from you. Final time, inhale, right arm lifts towards the sky. Right hand rests on left wrist. Breathing in, use your thumb to draw a big semicircle. And now stay with the right arm. So that really helps you uncoil tight shoulders. Look towards your right thumb. And we're here for 2 minutes. The twists really help unravel the spine, uncoil your shoulders. The shoulders are said to be the burden muscles, the muscles of responsibility, all those shoulds that we find in the word shoulder, of course. So just for now, trust that you can rest those shoulds on the ground. And we're here to fill yourself up, deeply, deeply breathing in, deeply, deeply breathing out. And just stay and soften into this shape for just under a couple of minutes. Again, maybe you repeat, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. You'll notice every time your mind goes somewhere else and see if you can bring it back. Three deep breaths into that right lung. Every breath out is a softening of the right shoulder blade. Notice what it feels like to be really slowing down now. So don't spoil that by moving to the other side. Let's lift those knees up and we just realign our spine. So we take the knees in line with the nose. Excuse me. And now let the knees come over to the right. So if your back's okay, it's really all right not to move your hips to the left. It just gives you a stretch for the back. Otherwise, you might just want to move your hips a little bit to the left. We lift those knees in and we bring the knees over to the right this time. And we open those arms out wide. Breathing in, left arm lifts up to the sky. Slowly we bring left wrist to right wrist. Breathing in, left thumb comes all the way behind you like you're painting a rainbow. Inhale, left arm lifts. Let it rest on the right wrist. And once again, you circle around. At your time, see if you can feel which bits of your shoulder feel tightest. Final time, breathing in, close like a clamshell. And the left thumb comes all the way up and over. And then we settle and soften the left shoulder blade down. And once again, we're here for 2 minutes, simply dropping your awareness into your body. Consciously softening around the left shoulder. Breathe into your whole body, your whole body. And the practice of yoga is the presence, not the shape. It's the coming back to the present moment. Often when we're caring, we're constantly planning, scheduling. It's all about really being here now with yourself so that you can attend to yourself and meet your needs, so that you are best equipped then to meet the needs of others. Staying present, staying with the breath. There's about another minute to go. Three deep breaths, each one getting a little longer, a little deeper. Noticing where you might have been when the bell rang. Without any judgment towards ourselves for being human. And then come to lie on your back. You can do what we call a forward lying shavasana on your tummy, but generally we do it lying back. We might now put this bolster that we have behind the back of our knees, especially if we've got lower back issues. We might put it on top of us if we're feeling a bit agitated today. And then allow your eyes to softly close. And just coming back as we began, we've come full circle, lying on the earth. Notice perhaps anything that might have shifted for you. And come to settle. And just finishing with a very short poem by Jeff Foster. This moment is not life waiting to happen. Goals waiting to be achieved. Words waiting to be spoken. Connections waiting to be made. Regrets waiting to evaporate. Aliveness waiting to be felt. Enlightenment waiting to be gained. No, nothing is waiting. This is it. This moment is life. And settling into your life, this moment, just breathe into it fully, completely, as you inhabit every part of your body. And as you breathe out, soften and settle into the face. Let the eyes relax. Let the jaw soften. Do a little swallow. Let go of tightness in the throat. Feel the energy rising as you breathe into the belly, to the side ribs, all the way up to your collarbone. As you breathe out, soften shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists. Relax the lower back and the waist. Relax your thighs, your calves, your feet. And take rest now
as you breathe into your whole body, whole body. So we've only had about a couple of minutes there. Ideally, you want about 8 minutes. You might choose to switch me off now and stay where you are. Wouldn't it be nice if we could just switch people off that annoy us? If, however, you just carved out this specific time to practice, you might just slowly start to wake your body up, spreading your fingers, spreading your toes. Perhaps you need to yawn your body awake again with an overhead stretch. And then easily we come back up to a comfortable seat. But again, I really encourage you to take longer. Now, as we come up to a comfortable seat, take those hands together, all this caring that we do with our hands, and take them to your heart. Press them together lightly as you breathe in there. And next time you inhale, circle and sweep those arms up overhead. And as you breathe out, bring them back to your center. And thank you so much for sharing this practice with me today. Namaste.